Hi, everyone. My name is Dave Scahill, and here with me today is Sandy Ampudia. We are from the Discovery Source. We're excited to be part of the Early Learning Coalition of Polk County and also the United Way of Central Florida. And we have put together these kits for you for social emotional development to help you in your classrooms and family childcare homes. And so we wanted to do a little unpacking of what's inside the kit and how you can use these materials. So first of all, we want to talk about our most popular and one of the most successful tools for teaching social emotional skills, and that is our Tucker Turtle scripted story. And you'll see, you go through the story and it talks about Tucker and his friends. And then on the backside, everything's in English and Spanish, in case you need that. Along with the Tucker story is the Tucker technique. So we have a poster for you to post as a reminder and a visual prompt for you to be able to remember the techniques. And then we have a set of cards that are laminated that you can put on a ring to be able to have for the children to remind them about the Tucker technique. And then finally, we have Tucker Turtle. Hey, everybody, how are you? And so, Sandy, how can they use the Tucker Turtle story and materials to help them with teaching self-regulation skills?
Yeah, we're so excited for you to have all these materials, and we want you to make the most out of each day when you start using these materials. Remember that children need to develop self-regulation skills using different steps. Children need to learn how to identify feelings and emotions. So that's why you have all your feeling faces. You're like, oh, the faces again. Yes, let's talk about feelings. Children, especially preschoolers that are developing a lot of language and vocabulary, you also need to expand the vocabulary of feelings. So children, as Dave was mentioning, when you're reviewing the story, you'll notice that this is a good friend that loves to go and play with his friends, but sometimes he feels like he wants to kick and push, and how that makes others feel, because preschoolers are also learning how to understand the perspective of others and how they can understand that when they can identify feelings in themselves. So you will notice that in the steps of the poster and in your cards, you have only 4 different steps, and you can use all these different materials to help children to practice and understand these 4 magical, practical steps to handle anger and impulse, because that's who they are, right? Preschoolers just respond, they react. But if we help them to pay attention to how they're feeling, and they can identify feelings, and maybe you are also playing stop and go games in your classroom. Then you play freeze games that they can identify, that they can go and go and go and stop, and they can laugh and stop. Well, one day when they're feeling upset and they can recognize that I am upset, I need to stop. And the other thing that the other step is of the technique is how children are practicing breathing exercises. And this is how the puppet is helping children to understand how they can go inside themselves and talk and practice not just 1, but 2 and 3 breathing exercises, that when they feel calm, they can come out and think of a solution. So what about if you start, you're like, I'm doing that. We're talking about feelings. Great. Do you play stop and go games? What about if you are including and practicing breathing exercises throughout your daily routine? So when you can present Tucker, you can bring the new book, and then they're all excited. One day you will say, you know what? Let's Tucker talk about what is that trick that he knows to calm down. And then you all can practice the breathing exercises, doing your own shell with the preschoolers, and how they can keep their hand inside the shell. It's too hard. Let's try to do a circle with our arms. It's too hard. Just go inside your uniform and practice breathing exercises. Let's help children to calm down. Then they can think of a solution. What do you think? Can you practice this in your classroom? Can you play games and help children to develop self-regulation skills? Let's give it a try.
Awesome. And so we also added in a Tucker at home scripted story so that you can send this home to parents as kind of a checkout and let them talk or read the scripted story to the children. And also we added a card to remember to remind the children when they're having those big emotions, remember to stop, remember the Tucker technique. And on the backside, we give the families a reminder of what those steps are. So they have that visual cue. How important is it to get the families engaged?
It will be easier because if you're practicing this in the classroom, children will talk about this at home. And if families have the same materials and similar visual cues, children can make connections and families can also help children to practice and help others to practice that Tucker the Turtle technique to calm down.
That's awesome. Now, we won't have time to go through the entire kit, but we've also added a calming kit for you. And in the calming kit, you're going to get a 44-page teacher guide that can walk you through all the different activities. But inside the calming kit are 3 things. One, there is a series of materials to help teach children about their feelings and emotions and getting them to learn what those look like and how to identify those and how they feel. Another one, a big part of it is more self-regulation skills. So there's there's a breathing chart in there, and there's also 20 other ways to help children learn how to self-regulate themselves. And then thirdly, we put in a book called Perhaps I'll Be an Orpal that helps children learn how special and unique they are. What do you think about the calming kit and how that can help teachers and family child care providers?
In my ideal world, every classroom should have a calming kit because it's full of visual cues, visual supports, and activities, age-appropriate activities that you can include in your daily routine. We're gonna ask you to unpack and open that calming kit and display all the different visual cues that they will find in there for you to help children to practice these skills every day. Think about what do you have in your circle time area. Then you have visuals for you to remember to review the calendar, the weather, the colors, the numbers every day. Would you like to add there a breathing chart just to remember and to remind children the importance of practicing breathing exercises? Not only when they're upset, when they're having a difficult moment, but remember, you in a very proactive way are implementing and helping children to practice breathing exercises, to find different ways to calm down. And you don't need to think about the materials are ready for you to use. You can present this in different parts of the year, different parts of the month, and leave the materials around the classroom so children can refer back to those visual cues to calm down, to practice breathing exercises, to read about how wonderful and unique we are, and to find some sensory activities that can help children to relax.
Absolutely. And when you find children are following directions or they're behaving in a really positive way, we added in a special super friend cape so that you can acknowledge and award children. And how can you use the super friend cape in a positive way?
Remember that preschoolers love your time and attention. That's why they love when you give a round of applause, when you give high five, if you give them a little sticker, they love it because they know you're paying attention to what they're doing. What about if you would like to target one specific social skill in the entire week? Would you like your preschoolers to use the thank you? Would you like preschoolers to say please more often? What about if you practice and then you say, you know what? We're gonna pay attention to who's saying, can I have it please during center time when they're playing outside. You will need to set the behavioral expectations. And when they're exhibiting that positive behavior. When they're demonstrating that behavior, you say, you know what? We have a super friend in the classroom. We have a super friend in the house. Johnny, come here, wear the cape. And remember, clear behavior expectations. You'll say every time that you are that targeted behavior, that you're saying please, that you're helping one another, that you're taking turns, that you're trading. You can wear the cape for 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then wait for another child to exhibit the behavior. Remember, children will love it. It's a positive attention that you're providing. Be sure that every child in your classroom had the opportunity, you catch them being good, so they have the opportunity to wear the cape for the period of time that you're planning to use this.
That's awesome. Yeah, the children love it and they want to behave, they want to exhibit that positive behavior, so they get the chance to wear the cape. We also added a set of books. So the importance of social emotional literacy, and this book set, Milo and Monty, Astrid and the Sky Cap, The Very Long Sleep, and The Cloud are all included in your set. And those are all focused around feelings and emotions.
Remember that you have many materials, including in the Calming Kit, you'll find more vocabulary of feelings materials. It's not only important for children to learn that new vocabulary word, but for you to put that new word in context. And that's how wonderful books are, because books are telling stories that are including the new vocabulary of feelings in context. Also, remember that children are learning how to read faces. That's how they can identify and they can make that connection between the physical experience and the emotional message. When they're reading books, maybe you can read the book and then one day you can say, let's look at the character faces and can you identify how they're feeling? What makes you think they're feeling that way? What we can do to make them feel better? And then you can create all these conversations that are important for children to generalize and to really learn the concept of the new vocabulary of feeling that you're trying to present. Sometimes we add in our planning the letter of the week, the number of the week, the color of the week. Can we include the emotion of the week? Can you start including one new vocabulary of feelings every week or every other week? Do we have 52 feelings to talk about? Oh yes, we have more than that. So please feel free to use some of the resources that you have in your Calming Kit to start adding vocabulary of feelings into your daily routines.
And we also added the Calming Drawing book for you, where you can photocopy these pages and use them over and over again for children, because they love doing drawings, and to be able to try and color and, you know, create these designs is very soothing. For even as adults, you might want to do this once in a while yourselves, some of these techniques. So we have a variety of different images that they can use to try to color into, as well as faces. So they can draw their own faces and try to draw their own emotions and how they're feeling, and practice that skill of drawing and using their fine motor skills along with their emotional literacy.
Would you love to have a poster of different feelings? You can use many of these pages and each child can select the different feelings and emotions that they want. They can complete the different parts of the face. Remember, when we're talking about feelings and emotions, the features of the face that are communicating feelings are the eyes and the mouth. Can we help children to identify, to do that matching game? It's like, surprise face. How do you draw a surprise face? Big open eyes, big round mouth. Oh, this is your surprise face. What makes you feel surprised? Can you make up a collage of surprise faces of different, and then you have that theme of surprise, and then you have your different illustrators, and then you can call this different ways, and children will love to go and look at the drawings that they completed. And remember, we're adding a little bit for everyone because we have different learning styles, and some children will calm their minds by using some of these fine motor skills. Maybe you're doodling in a little page while you're listening to this, and it's helping you to pay attention to what we're saying.
And we do have the feelings and emotions poster inside the calming kit to help you teach children those different expressions as well as other ways. So lastly, language is really important. We put in a couple of self-talking phones that you can do self-affirmations and get that little voice in the head to say, I'm a really good friend. I got to wear the cape today. Or if they're really angry, they can see, oh my gosh, I sound like that. Sandy, what do you think of the self-talking phones and the importance of language?
When teachers look at these self-talking, they're cute. They're cute, but they're amazing. And we have many teachers that are reporting how amazing is the use of this piece of self-talking phone into the classroom, because you can practice many different strategies. You can try to make a list. You have a list of the children in your classroom, don't you? Can you add 2 or 3 positive strengths, characteristics, unique things that they have? Can you call them once a day and say, Johnny, can you repeat this? And help children to practice positive affirmations. I am a great constructor. I am a good helper. I have a faster feed. Let them know what are the things that they can do and that you are acknowledging the characteristics that they have. Also, if they have a conflict, ask them, call me and tell me what happened, and they're upset. Remember that quiet voices, calm voices, and they're like, when they take the phone, the feedback is so huge. They're like, oh, see, you see, this is how you sound. Can you lower your voice and just call me and then tell me what happened? That's your therapist. It will help children to vent, to communicate, to think about what they can do. And also for you, we're adding a lot of materials for you to practice mental health awareness, to practice self-positive affirmations, practice breathing exercises before you start your daily routine. Take the self-talking phone and say to yourself how wonderful you are. I'm the most amazing teacher in this area. I have wonderful opportunities to help my children today. I'm changing trajectories every day. So do this. We believe in you, and we believe that you're the most important agents of change in our classrooms.
We wish you all the best with these materials and with your children and families. And we're just very excited to be part of this and to bring you these great resources. And we hope that they are life-changing for you.
Thank you for everything that you do every day for our children and families in your classroom. Wishing you the best. Enjoy, have fun, and let us know how it's working.
All the best. Thank you.